On behalf of Touch Football Australia, we welcome you to the 2018 National Youth Championships and National Schools Cup Tournament Briefing. Please ensure you have your manager's pack and the conditions of entry next to you while we go through this presentation, and please refer to those documents throughout for further information. Before we begin, we'd like to acknowledge our major NYC and NSC event partner, the Sunshine Coast Council. We thank them for their amazing and ongoing support of the NYC and NSC events. Should you need assistance in the lead up to or during the event, the names of the relevant tournament officials and key contacts are on your screen. Mobile phone numbers of those individuals are in your manager's pack, so please contact any of those individuals and they'll be sure to help you. Touch Football Australia will be communicating via the National Youth Championships specific team app, the TFA, NYC and NSC websites, our social media accounts, and in the event of an emergency, stadium PA system. Should we need to contact tour leaders directly, we will contact you via mobile phone if it is urgent. However, we will also provide daily newsletter updates on generic event information which will be available on the NYC team app. As we mentioned, Team App will play a large role in our communication, so we encourage everyone to download Team App, which is available from the App Store or Google Play. Simply search for Team App. Once you have downloaded and registered for Team App, search for National Youth Championships. The app will include all the news and provide push notifications in the event that we need to communicate en masse. It will also be a place to check results, ladders and finals progressions. You can also see the social media handles there on the right hand of the screen. The results will be largely online as per recent tournaments. These will be through Team App or the NYC and NSC websites. We'll be printing daily results and ladders at the end of each day. If you want the latest results, please download Team App or visit the NYC or NSC websites, which are there on the bottom of your screen. We will now cover off on some risk management items, namely medical, weather policies, some venue-specific information, and various discipline protocol that are in play at the event. Entities are required to provide their own medical staff at the event. Event medics are available for serious injuries. Should you require assistance from the event medics, please flag TFA event staff identifiable by the fluoro pink event staff shirt, who will radio through assistance to the relevant field or location. TFA has adopted the AIS and Australian Medical Association concussion in sport policy and will again be implemented at this event. Further details on this concussion policy can be found in your manager's pack or by visiting their website, www.concussioninsport.gov.au. Unfortunately, we have experienced inclement weather at national events in the past. Therefore, if we do so again, either the hot weather policy or wet weather policy contained within the TFA extreme weather guidelines will come into effect. Please listen to the ground announcer and communication from tournament officials if they will be implemented depending on the weather. There are a number of risks associated with team tents and the bringing in of various equipment into the facility. All this is covered in your manager's pack, however we do ask that all electrical items brought into the stadium are tagged and tested and compliant with Australian standards. We would hate for a piece of electrical equipment to trip the stadium lights, for example, which will affect the running of the tournament or cause serious injury or harm to a participant. So please make sure all electrical items are compliant and above board. Same with water safety. Obviously, ice bath recoveries are an important part of athlete well-being and management during these tournaments. However, we do ask that all water areas are supervised at all times and measures are put in place to prevent any wandering young children from accessing that water unsupervised. A lot of teams prepare their own meals, which is great. However, please make sure you abide by food handling standards so that we avoid any outbreaks of food poisoning, gastro, etc. that will impact the health and well-being of a participant and the running of the event. Finally, should we need to evacuate the stadium for any reason, please listen to the stadium PA and abide by the instructions provided by the ground announcer or your nearest TFA event or stadium staff member. For those that have been to NYC or NSC before at the Sunshine Coast Stadium, you'll be aware that traffic and parking can be quite busy at times. Therefore, we do ask that you adhere to signs and use caution at all times when driving and walking throughout the stadium precinct. Parking is available in the green and white striped area indicated on the map on your screen. In terms of traffic management, we do ask that all smaller buses park in the provided bus parking area, which is indicated in the red and white striped area on your screen. This will greatly improve traffic management in the main car park and also provide more car parking for spectators and teams. Larger buses will need to park in the parking bays along Sportsman's Parade. We also ask that you respect the disabled parking, which is located at the southern side of the stadium on Sportsman's Parade and the very first few parking bays in the car park located off Nickland Way. Please avoid parking in disabled bays, as we've had issues in the past with able-bodied drivers taking up valuable disabled parking space, so we do ask for your cooperation there. There is a drop-off zone on Sportsman's Parade at the southern side of the stadium indicated on your screen in the blue and white stripes. Please use common sense when driving around the tournament and event precinct. There will be no vehicle access into the main stadium area, so if you're looking to drop off or pick up equipment from your tents, unfortunately we can't grant you access. There will be prominent pedestrian access by the main entry to the stadium from Sportsman's Parade. The venue is a totally non-smoking venue, so we ask that everyone refrains from smoking anywhere throughout the Sunshine Coast Stadium area. It is also a dry zone for the duration of the event due to the youth aspects. There will be overnight security for the main event precinct, but as always, we recommend that no valuable items are left behind because the security guards can't be everywhere at all times. Just a reminder too that no spectators are to be within 5 metres of a field that is in play. So if you're watching your teams, please make sure that your players, spectators and officials are back 5 metres from the field. There will be a number of ropes and/or markings around the outer fields to designate this 5 metre barrier. This is for the safety of the players, spectators and officials as well. In terms of training fields, we please ask you to avoid warming up or cooling down on actual playing surfaces. There is plenty of space surrounding the fields. We ask you for your cooperation to protect the playing surface for our event, but also the many other users that frequent the stadium ongoing. In addition to TFA staff, Sunshine Coast Stadium staff will be able to help entities with access to water, power and general facility inquiries. Please flag a TFA event staff and we'll be able to put you in contact with a Sunshine Coast Stadium staff member. In terms of the disciplinary protocol, the key information is in your manager's pack. The main point that we want to raise on this particular slide is for you to be aware that the team can be penalised for the behaviour of officials and spectators. We would hate to see a vital game decided by the behaviour of someone off the field, so please make sure that you advise all spectators and officials that their behaviour off the field can have an impact on the on-field result. The BLK Fastest in Touch race. We want to know who the fastest male and female players are here this week in the 18s divisions. Teams are encouraged to nominate 1 male and 1 female from their entity. The winner in each race, male and female, will win a prize pack courtesy of TFA major partner BLK, featuring a $300 BLK voucher, a BLK t-shirt and a BLK cap. Nomination forms for your contenders are included in your manager's pack and are due at 11 AM Saturday at the Tournament Information Area. The races will take place as a curtain raiser to the 18s Grand Finals on Saturday. During the event, Wednesday to Friday, former NRL players and current NRL vocational education and training ambassadors will be delivering My Skills information sessions for all NYC teams and Year 9 and 10 NSC teams. Please make sure you refer to the copy of the session time in your manager's pack. Team photos are being taken on Wednesday the 12th of September between 7:30 AM and 3 PM at the event grounds. Team photos will be ready for collection on Friday the 14th of September. Additional copies can be purchased for $15 each, including GST. With such a large number of teams attending, it is recommended that teams book a photo time prior to the event commencing. You can now book your session via the online app energyimages.setmore.com. If you have any issues, please contact Danielle on 0439 954 097 or email info@energyimages.com.au. In addition to the team photos, Energy Images will be taking a range of action shots throughout the event, and they'll be available on the Energy Images website at the conclusion of the event. For the next section, please make sure you refer to the conditions of entry. We'll go over these key dot points given their significance. We do understand that from time to time there are issues with suppliers or players lose gear. However, we do ask that you have a contingency plan in place to ensure that at all times your players and officials are in full correct uniform. This is a national event. Touch Football Australia is striving for a professional image, and it is a media broadcast event. So we have an obligation together to ensure that our brand is protected and portrayed in the best possible light it can be. Therefore, we won't be accepting players or officials that are not in uniform, and that goes from an incorrect hat to a different style of shirt, etc. We expect that all teams are in exactly the same uniform, and we do ask for your cooperation with this during the tournament. Also, in the event that a player does lose a shirt or a shirt is damaged, we do ask that you change the number of the player at the tournament information area. This is required due to a number of factors. Most noticeably, this is a selection event for higher representation, so we want to be able to contact the correct individual if they have been selected for those honours. Also, in the event of any disciplinary issues, we want to be able to contact and have the correct players identified for those matters. So please ensure that you do complete a change of number form if you do need to change numbers. In terms of the proof of eligibility challenges, protests or eligibility claims can be made on days 1 and 2 of the event. We will not accept protests or eligibility claims after the completion of play on day 2 of the event. This will be Thursday, 13th of September for both National Youth Championships and National Schools Cup. So if you notice anyone who you think might not be eligible, please address it as soon as possible. It is the responsibility of each team to allocate the appropriate person to sign the score sheet at the end of each game. The appropriate person can be seen as the coach or team manager. In signing the score sheet, the nominated person on behalf of their team has acknowledged and accepts the information on the score sheet to be correct. This information includes full-time and half-time scores, playing numbers of players, crossing off players not participating in that game, touchdown scorers for both teams, and send-offs or period of time sanctions. TFA encourages all referees, team players and officials to communicate throughout the game to make sure that all parties have responsibility in ensuring that the score sheet is correct. If you don't agree with the information on the score sheet, do not sign the score sheet and lodge a protest via the tour leader within 50 minutes of the conclusion of the game. The following information is to be provided with the protest: the team that tapped off and direction of play, the order the scoring occurred, including player numbers of both teams, the half-time and full-time scores. The opposing team will be called to verify the score. If they do not agree, or in the event of an inconclusive evidence, the score will be recorded as the score that the referees recorded. Alternatively, video evidence can be provided and the evidence will be used if conclusive. If the score sheet does not be signed and the time has passed for a protest to be lodged, the information on the score sheet will be recorded. If the information on the score sheet is unclear, the relevant parties may be contacted to confirm. Linked with the accuracy of the score sheet, teams can register up to 16 players each side. However, only 14 players per team can participate in a game, and therefore we do ask before the start of each game you please cross out any individual that will not be participating in that particular match. Penalties apply for teams that have more than 14 players participate in a game. If you qualify to participate at the NYC or NSC and are registered in that particular team, you can play finals regardless of how many preliminary games you participate in. So any individuals that are not attending the first few days of competition but will turn up later on, please also cross them off the score sheet. In terms of the interchange area, a maximum of 20 participants can be present on the playing surface, including interchange area and permitted coaching positions in each game, i.e. 6 players on the field, up to 8 players in the interchange area, 2 non-players, and therefore in this instance only 4 officials would be able to be involved. If there is more than 20, event staff will ask you to rectify. All of these participants must be in enclosed footwear, including injured players. They must all be in either the official on-field playing uniforms if they are a player in the game, or the off-field entity uniform if they are a player that is not playing in the game, or an official such as a coach, manager, or medical staff. Interchanges are to occur within the 10 by 2 metre interchange gate at the front of the interchange area displayed on the right of the screen. All other officials and players not involved in an interchange must remain in the sub-box area at the back of the interchange gate. Coaches are permitted to position themselves at the end of the 5 metres back from the dead ball line. However, they cannot issue any verbal or physical commands directly to the team. They are observing only and can only communicate to the team or other staff in the interchange area by returning to the interchange area or by the use of electronic communication. Failure to comply will result in the individuals being asked to leave the venue for the duration of the game and may result in further action. Event staff will ask you to rectify any of these situations immediately. We do ask that you also show event staff respect and listen to their instructions. They will ask you to rectify as they notice any issues, whether it be day 1 or with 5 minutes to go in the grand final. If you do not wish to be disturbed by event staff, please do the right thing from day 1 through to your last game. The drop-off rule will be as per the 7th edition playing rules, with 2 slight modifications. If it is a draw at the end of regulation time and a drop-off is required, there will be a tap at halfway by the team that won the initial toss. That team will run in the same direction that they ended the game. The first modification is that the ball is knocked down. This does not constitute a loss in possession and therefore play will continue. The second modification is only in the instance of touchdowns being scored off the first 3 consecutive sets of 6. In this instance only, the team that had only 1 set will have the opportunity to score. If they do not in that set of 6, the game is over. Further details are in the manager's pack. For teams that are lucky enough to make the grand finals, the following provides you some information on the presentation elements. We ask that all players and officials meet in under the grandstand in the stadium tunnel 10 minutes prior to the match, ready for your players to be introduced on the stadium in number order with your captain first. Players will line up facing the grandstand for the national anthem and then the match will commence. For all other finals, please refer to the draw for your field number and time. Unfortunately, due to scheduling and infrastructure, we will be unable to play the national anthem or announce players onto the ground. A rundown on all the presentation timings and locations are displayed on the screen in front of you. A reminder that the NYC team MVP forms will be due by 5 p.m. Friday to the tournament information area in the main foyer. Please bring the displayed documentation to the official 2018 NYC and NSC Managers Meeting on Tuesday the 11th of September at 4 p.m. Please note all tour leaders have access through SportsTG to view registered players. We ask that you use this function to ensure your player details are correct prior to the tournament. Team managers can request access from their tour leader to view their team online to ensure all players have registered correctly. Using this function, managers and tour leaders can also input playing shirt numbers for all players prior to the tournament. We request that playing shirt numbers and player details are lodged correct and assigned in SportsTG no later than Friday the 7th of September. Late registrations after Friday the 7th of September will need to attend the managers meeting to complete the online registration process. No further registrations will be accepted after this date. That is it in terms of the online tournament briefing presentation. If you have any questions, your first point of call should be your tour leader. If they can't assist you or you are the tour leader, then by all means please contact Zoe Zanetti or Colette Ritchie at Touch Football Australia, who will be able to assist you with your inquiry. We look forward to seeing you all on the Sunshine Coast in September 2018.